Hey guys, hi and welcome to the sixth episode of Weekly Showcase. And I'm very excited because it's been a short break and I was missing this. In fact, a lot of the guys on in our community were also saying when is the next video coming up. So we've got three or four lined up this week, and today I have with me Jishnu. But hi Jishnu, nice to have you here. How are you doing?
Yeah, it's been good. I'm at home currently, and it's been raining like crazy here. Oh, I'm in Kerala, by the way.
Okay, which part of Kerala is this?
Closer to Kochi.
Closer to Kochi. And what's the town called? What's the city or town called?
Oh, it's called Perumbavoor.
Perembauer. ठीक है. It's always good to know new places, no? ठीक है. People say
Yeah, so usually I don't tell people, the
no,
town
no.
name because
It's
I'm sure,
always interesting
they,
because see, one day we come down to say Kochi and then we say, Chata, who do we know here? We know Jishnu lives nearby, so we could go and catch up. You never know. But yeah. So and where do you work? What do you do? Because I'm guessing right now because of
so
lockdown, etc. You're in Kochi, Perembauer.
yeah,
But
yeah.
where do you work out from?
So I work as a product designer for a company called Smallcase. I'm not sure if you heard of it.
Small case is the guys with Zerodha, right? The guys who create the mutual fund ones. Same
Huh,
company.
they're not with Zerodha. They're like a separate company. I think that is like a
Yeah, but
misconception.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
But you see, I think people came to know about small case through Zerodha.
Precisely.
Uh, so yeah, I work for them as a product designer, and I think I just started around 5 months ago. I haven't actually been to their office yet, so I
Okay.
directly started working from home. I think
Okay.
all this thing hit just right after I joined them.
That's
Uh,
very
so
interesting. So you started out remote even before the whole remote thing happened, so to speak, right?
yeah,
That's
yeah. I mean, like I think the COVID thing hit, and I was supposed to join next month in Bangalore, and then
oh,
suddenly everyone decided that we'll go remote.
that's
And yeah, it
interesting.
was a different experience. Like I've never joined a company remotely.
Okay.
It has its own positives and negatives, I would say.
Absolutely. Maybe one day we'll have a conversation with a larger group of people, how that experience of, being a designer or product person in this
Yeah,
scenario, especially when you're starting out new, in a new company.
yeah,
I'm pretty
that's what
curious.
like.
I mean, you don't
So
know
right
who
now,
your boss is literally because you don't get those cues that, are there,
yeah,
you get
exactly.
feedback that is written or maybe on voice. But very
So
interesting.
I've met like two people in person. So those two people I know perfectly, but the others are a little hazy. Sometimes I get confused between names and all that. I can't, exactly pin a face to it.
Yeah.
So
And I can slightly relate to that. We are a two people company, me and Nishit, but our, people, we are actually working with all the contributors at UXAC. So this is the first time I'm speaking to you and this is the first time I've even seen your face. A lot of the people
yeah.
at UXAC, we've had so many interactions online, but we've rarely seen them, visualize how they look, what they do. So it's very interesting. And before this, what were you doing? So you have a degree, or
So
what have you done previously?
yeah. So my background is engineering. I
Okay.
actually did civil engineering
Very interesting.
from NIT Trichy.
Okay.
Uh, so I got into design, I think, back in college. I used to do a lot of graphic designing.
Okay.
I used to be part of this magazine and used to be part of the college design team and the team that used to design the websites. And that's how, I kind of got introduced into the world of design. And I think after college, I was confused what to do. Like I got placed as a business development executive and all, but never really liked the thing. Then I thought, why not? Then I came across, UX or product design as a field of, as a career option when I read this book, the this one, what's it called?
Don Norman,
Oh
man.
shit.
The one
Yeah,
by
Don Norman.
okay.
Yeah,
I guess we all need to collectively thank him because I think a lot of the guys in India, I mean, at least the majority guys who've taken up design in India, the first kind of experience with design, the word UX and all of that has been his book. I don't know if that is true.
the design of everyday things.
Yeah,
So that was an eye opener. Like I didn't know there was a version. There was like a more logical, more process oriented way to designing things and designing experiences.
right.
So I was like, I really want to do this, and graphic designing is something that I already knew, so I would start with that. So I joined as a graphic designer first with a startup in Bangalore,
Okay.
and from there, after a year, I joined as a UX designer with another agency in Goa. Been like a journey throughout. I would say like so 2 years I was with this agency, and then I decided it was time to maybe get into a specific product as such,
Mm.
and that's when I joined Small Case,
Very
which is
interesting.
based out in Bangalore.
Very interesting. So this conversation by itself will inspire a few people to, because we have a lot of engineers, and they are also in
Haha.
this mold of, because see, I mean, I agree, I understand that after engineering there are a few things that you can only do, but design is not the very obvious choice. But we have like Akash, who we did a discussion with recently. He's one. I think Asta,
Yeah.
who's been a winner recently. They're all engineers. So I guess that curiosity, that semblance is there, and it's great to see engineers coming. And because it does get. I'm also an engineer, but I did an MBA also.
Uh-huh.
Those typical mold kind of Indian guys. Okay, from that, I think I want to move to the specific challenge. So I'll just share a few visuals of the challenge, and for the guys who may be seeing this for the first time. So the challenge was basically on reviving the demand for Airbnb. Showed. So Jishnu, I'll run you through a couple of pages. This is the main one that I want to talk about. Yeah, but this one, just run me through what your process was, your approach to this challenge, because not a simple straightforward challenge, not a simple improve UX kind of a challenge. How did you go about doing your research? How did you go about finding a solution?
I think like for whatever project or challenge, comes to me, I kind of like to, uh, look at it from a wider point of view. Like in this case, the travel industry and how the COVID has affected travel industry,
Yeah, yeah,
even aviation, because in the end, they all have to work in unison to, benefit each other. Like
correct.
if flights don't fly or trains don't travel, then there is like no one's going to stay anywhere, right?
Yeah,
Or if
yeah,
uh, if cars are not on the road.
yeah,
So I kind of try to get into that and slowly understand the whole ecosystem, and then kind of again dwell deeper into it. And that's how I came across this. It suddenly hit me that we have this Atiti Devo Bhava thing in
yeah,
our culture,
yeah. That
and
whole
it's kind of
incredible
funny
India
that
campaign. That whole incredible India campaign.
yeah,
That
yeah, it's
which
kind of
was more for foreigners,
kind of
but
what
yeah, but yeah,
yeah, it is kind of odd that maybe Airbnb wasn't a concept that was already there in India before.
yes,
Uh,
yes, absolutely.
it was just in a different way, like treat your guests as gods,
Yeah,
which is kind of what Airbnb's ideals are too.
yeah,
Like they want their host to be uh, very respective and very caring of
yeah,
whoever is coming to stay over there.
yeah,
So that that kind of hit me, and that's why I thought maybe I'll highlight that in the beginning when I say the connection between Airbnb and India.
yeah,
Then I came across, while reading a lot of articles about how Airbnb is doing in India, I came across these, certain pointers.
okay,
Uh, so, yeah, so I think one thing that is going good for Airbnb is like even after all these things that things are, starting to get better, and that
yeah,
is all around the world.
yeah,
I think people are more open to travel, in the sense people want to travel now. Even those who were not avid travelers, they want to go somewhere.
yeah.
You
When
know,
I saw this,
so
90%, I was like, nahi yaar, itna nahi hoga. But when you actually speak to people, it's actually more. So like
yeah, exactly.
they may not be able
So
to express it in a yes no kind of thing, but I'm sure that that
uh-huh.
feeling is across. I mean, given an option, people would just jump at it.
Yeah, especially now you don't travel for work or you don't travel to go eat outside.
Yeah,
And I think people even have a lot more saved now to
yeah,
actually,
yeah.
go
Lots of
on
savings,
bigger
lots of
trips.
savings. Yeah,
And I think now everyone's like, I have money, why not? I really want to, see new places.
yeah. I agree.
So I
Yeah.
think that would also be, inspiring factor.
Yeah, and then the
Uh,
other part. So there were, you suggested three or four things. Add tags. Give more
yeah.
personalization. I like the personalization part, but the one that I really, because it was different from what everybody else was, the loyalty program, which is like a bold move. So where does this thought come from?
I was wondering, do they have a loyalty program? Because if you see all carriers, like air carriers do have a loyalty program. Like if
Yeah,
you see
yeah,
Indigo or Vistara,
yeah.
they give benefits, and that's the reason people would prefer directly booking from their sites
Trust them a
rather
little
than
bit
maybe
more.
going to,
Yeah, trust
yeah,
them a little bit
trust
more.
them a little bit more. And then I came to know that they already had this idea back in 2018,
Okay.
and they were saying that they would launch it, but it never came out. Like they were going to launch it, I think end of 2018 or something, but it
Maybe
never.
even then they were thinking about the IPO, which now is the main thing that they're thinking about even now.
Yeah, possibly.
Yeah.
But I think right now is a good time to, slowly roll out, some kind of loyalty points or some
Yeah.
kind of loyalty thing to travel.
Interesting.
Like it's like a small nudge.
This was one interesting item which stood out. But more than I think, I love this hope story. This whole thing. So of course the challenges are never about empathy and hope. That's what I started out with. But where did this
Yeah.
thought come from? Like that we have to create that because a lot of the things. This is a sector that's really been hit. I mean, there's no other easy way of saying it. But this thought on say this, talk about the story of hope. Where did that come from? Because now nobody else has done that. Or there were other submissions. Now nobody's talked much about this. But where did this thought come
So I think this came in my head because, I read a lot about, all these psychology and psychological
from? Okay.
biases and all that.
Okay.
And
Interesting.
something that I came, so there is a concept called regression to the mean.
All right.
Uh, so that means that, no matter how bad or how good something, like something goes,
Yeah.
it always, kind of goes back to the balance. So even if it reaches, if you see the stock market also, right?
I was
It
going to
there
say
is a
that you would
boom.
make a great stock market investor because that actually is very close to behavioral finance and behavioral economics. Then go on, go
Yeah,
on.
there is like a boom and then there is a fall too, but
Yes.
it always comes back to, the normal point,
Yes.
before all that.
Very
So I
interesting.
thought, this is an idea that can be applied everywhere, right? We're not going to be living with COVID-19 forever.
Yeah.
It is going to reduce slowly. Hopefully we'll find a vaccination, but
Yeah.
still, we'll find ways to maybe live around it too if we
Deal
don't
with
find
it.
a vaccine.
Deal with it. Comes back to the same Don Norman book. I think it really resonates if you started your journey from there because there is no formal reading, right? There is no formal course. Because a lot
Yeah.
of guys who are topping our challenges similar to you, but great to hear that.
Yeah, I think primary thing of being in this field is kind of I think the superpower is empathy.
Yeah,
Like if
absolutely.
you are someone who's good at understanding people or kind of putting yourself in their shoes,
Yeah,
I think then anyone can pick up
exactly.
this this
I'm amazed.
this field
I'm amazed
easily.
the way it's been put. So empathy, these things. So if I say this to participants, they'll be like, "Arey, what nonsense!" But when they hear from you, I'm sure at least the guys who are sitting on the fence and wondering, should I get into design? Also the guys who are into design and don't know how to improve, even product people, when they hear from a winner and somebody is already a product designer, I think that really creates a great impact. You captured it well. Empathy
Oh,
is the
thanks.
superpower, and it came through the solution. And that I can't stress it more. And it's been a great conversation with you, Jishnu. Also congratulations on that challenge as well as the next challenge, and also your first challenge with
Thank you.
us. I'm hopeful that we'll have more interactions, and sometime we'll speak about the other
Definitely.
challenges as well. And thank you so much.
Yeah.
And it's been great speaking to you. Bye.
Yeah. Thanks a lot. Thanks,
Bye.
Akshay.
Bye.